Good morning, everyone. Welcome to YouTube Live. Today, we're going to talk about the weather and weather swings. Now, you know this is December. You know that it started turning colder in November or around Thanksgiving and everything. And it was like just cold. And then all of a sudden, we started having some swings in temperatures, and especially across the Midwest. In the I mean, the Midwest is going to see a lot of different types of weather and different swings, and it is going to be warm one weekend or one week, and then cold the next, and everything. And when you look at the weather in St. Louis, that's what's basically happening right about now. This weekend they're going to be in up in the 70s, around 74, and then temperatures are going to start to fall off, and it's going to feel more like winter. Now, does St. Louis always get weather like this? Well, the answer to that typically is yes. It it gets that way, and so if you have any comments, questions about the weather and everything, let me know, because I'm here to advocate for you and for everyone else. I would like to know your thoughts about the weather and what you think that about the weather, and if whether or not the weather is weird in St. Louis and across the Midwest. Because here in the South, our temperatures are pretty much basically what you get. Whatever you get, whatever the high temperature is for that day in the month of December, that leading into the next month, which would be January. It's one of those things where the weather is just up and down. It's like a roller coaster. And hopefully it'll warm up. But that's a lot of people think that it's going to stay warm just because we had a warm Christmas, just because we had a warm start or warm end to the month of December. It's just, you don't know. You cannot control the weather. You can't even predict weather as to what it's going to be like this time of the year and in this part of the country. Here in the South, it's one of those, you take it as you get it. And one thing that I've noticed here in the South is that the humidity is much different than it is anywhere else across the country. Anywhere else you go across the country, it's like the weather is just, the humidity is either bad or good. Now, I know that in December across the Midwest, across the metro area in St. Louis, Illinois, different places, humidity can be what you call a little bit more unbearable. And that's just the way it is. It's very unbearable. And I'm sure that this weekend and everything is going to be unbearable, because as far as humidity goes in the Midwest, because in the Midwest, you just don't know, like I said a while ago earlier, you don't know what kind of weather you're going to encounter, what kind of humidity you're going to encounter. Now, I know there's a lot of people that want to, be able to breathe, those who have asthma and different things. And the weather sometimes plays a part in whether they can or cannot breathe, and how hard it is, and or if their chest hurts or whatever. I know the weather has a lot to do with a lot of things like that. And the weather is very, very unpredictable, you would put it at this point of the year. Now, as we close out 2025 and head into 2026, what kind of weather can we expect, here in the South? We know there's going to be cold for New Year's Day and the day after in St. Louis. We know that. But the thing is, what is it going to be like here in the South? In the South, are we going to see extremely cold temperatures like we did earlier, at some point last fall, last winter, when we had snow on the ground, which I have to admit, down here in this part of the country, we do not get that much snow. And so, I just wonder, what is it going to be like later this year? Beginning part of next year, when we go into January, and just about within a week or so or from now, are we going to see colder temperatures, moderating temperatures that are going to moderate from what we have currently now to, much colder? Are we going to have that? Are we going to have to deal with those certain circumstances where, where things just don't go the way that they should? If you have any comments, questions, and remarks about this, please let me know your thoughts. I like to hear your thoughts and know exactly what you think about this kind of weather, because it is what they call very mild in this part of the country. So please feel free to jump in, and please feel free to put your comments and or your thoughts about this topic in with whatever it may be that you think about the weather. And for those of you that are in the Midwest, please feel free to join in and put your thoughts about what you feel or think about the weather is going to be like the rest of the month of January following New Year's Day. I'd like to really hear your thoughts. So please do that. Please join me on YouTube, here on YouTube. And also, please click that notification bell and turn on. That way, when I do post another video, you will get the latest information. Till the next time on YouTube, everyone, have a great day. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time right here with more YouTube Live. Till then, Happy New Year.